Let me know if we're live. It says testing your broadcast right now.
Oh, great.
We got the Act Man. Sweet, we're live. All right, so I bet you thought this stream would never happen, but we have HR. We're just going to be referring to her as HR. If you have questions for HR, now's your chance. You're never gonna, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity right now. I didn't think that this stream would happen.
Me neither.
So if you got, if you got questions for HR, now's your chance. Watching the premiere. Brom, what's up? All right, so question number one. The one that, so I have a bunch of questions, right? This is new, right? 3 feet away.
May or may not be entirely accurate. I feel like I should say that.
All right, well, she's got years of experience in HR. And so I had to ask a bunch of questions. So I'm going to let you guys ask a bunch of questions. How'd you get an HR lady? It was bribery.
We met at the gym.
My wife is in HR. Yeah, I met at the gym.
Oh, what's up, HR lady? Cool.
I want to hire the right HR person. What's the best way to structure a resume?
You should start with your education
You got to put this away, and then you got to get a little closer.
Start with your most relevant information for your work history. Don't include anything menial, like if you worked at a restaurant or if you worked like at a grocery store. Just put anything relevant to the job you're applying to.
What if they don't have any experience?
If you don't have any experience, well, I don't want to tell you to fake it, but
I'll tell you to fake it. Don't worry about it.
No, there's everything. You can find something that you did relating to it. Like, I'm sure that you've created something yourself or you've helped your friends with something. That's all you need to put on there.
What's your okay, here's some good questions. We got a lot of questions. Holy moly.
Oh, no.
Okay, here's a good question. How do you know someone's about to get fired?
Everybody knows they're about to get fired.
But how do you know?
Out of nowhere. Because the manager brings it to you. Everybody thinks it's HR, but we don't usually know you. It's the manager is going to bring it to our attention. We're going to say, hey, document that. They're going to document as much as they can. They're probably going to give you some warnings. And then one day you'll get a random meeting on your calendar. It says, show up to this room for an update or a touch base or something very generic, and you'll show up and there will be your boss and me.
Yeah, why do you have to come?
We're there to give you next steps and to support
Next
your manager.
steps.
Your manager is going to say, hey, peace out. This is probably the reason why. It'll be very vague. And then we'll be the one who says, very sorry, here's your, actually probably don't even say
Our
sorry.
online
I don't
courses,
think we can say sorry.
certified, taken seriously.
Yeah. I mean,
Would you take a Udemy certificate as education?
yeah.
Would you?
I mean,
I feel like I would get laughed
it would
at.
be something as long as you have, like, if you don't have anything else, put whatever you have on there. But like, University of Phoenix or something like that. Can I say that? I'm gonna be like,
Why do HR post jobs for entry level but require 3 years experience?
oh, we don't. That's an ask, and usually it's your manager who writes those. The manager hiring that position wants that, but that's not.
Okay, let's be clear. She hasn't done HR for like every job.
Not for every job.
Is the hiring process a good reflection of the company?
I mean, that's a reflection of your recruiters usually.
Does HR have any value?
Well, for the business, we keep them from getting sued. We're the ones who know the employment law. Otherwise, we're here to help you too, but only bleeding hearts like my kind, probably.
Dan's got a good question. What's up with the culture index questionnaires when hiring people? Seems like that takes priority over merit. So like, why do they do little personality tests like, would you steal? Like, who's gonna put yes?
Well, I feel like that is mostly just it's like insurance for the business. Like, we asked you that, you said no, but also that's not going to usually take precedence over what kind of work you do. Like, yeah, you might be a great person, but also if you can't do the work, what does it matter? It's kind of just a waste of time, if you ask me. That's my opinion. In the places that I've worked.
Can she share what company? I'm not gonna tell you what company she works for, but can we could say that. Hold on, let me mute. Hold on. All right, so she's a HR consultant. So she goes to companies that have crappy HR and makes them better, which would be
I make them more technology advanced. That's what I do.
She's literally the opposite of everything. Well, not really, but she's kind of aware that some of it's kind of a joke. So that's why it's funny. Why do they never give you reasons for getting fired? It's because you can sue, right?
Yeah, legally we don't give you a reason because of that. You can sue if we give you a direct reason. That's usually why. So you're gonna get something really vague, like poor performance or something like that. It all just depends on what the actual. It'll just be really vague, whatever it is. You can ask all you want, but that's all you're gonna get. And then we tell the managers to get up and leave. So then you're left with us.
Do you really call past employers on the resume?
Some jobs do if you're going to be working with kids. They will, but for things like this, we don't usually. Like, what are you going to do? Give us a reference that's going to say, oh, they were an awful employee. They were so bad. Like, why would you do that? So we're not, like, most people aren't going to waste their time calling references unless it's something that, like, your leadership requires or demands.
Right.
Which isn't often.
When does she work for? She works in technology with developers and stuff. We got Landon with the 4-9. Thank you, dude. When leaving a company, what's the best and safest way to do so when finding another job?
You just be honest, but I wouldn't say anything until if it was me, I wouldn't say anything until I already had another job lined up with an offer letter signed, accepted, and then give it. I wouldn't do anything before. It's not like they're going to retaliate against you because that's a legal issue too, but...
What should you say? What's the specific words that you say to quit a job?
You have to put it in writing. It can be one sentence and say, thank you for the time here. I found another opportunity. This is my 2 weeks notice. You can even just say, hey, this is my 2 weeks notice. Bye. That's it. That's not going to follow you anywhere. You just have to have it in writing for HR purposes, not even for your manager. Your manager, if you just tell them straight up, they're going to tell you to send an email to HR. That's it. That's all you have to say.
Doesn't
matter where you're going. They can ask. You don't have to say where you're going. You don't have to say how much you're making more. You don't have to tell them anything. You can just say, bye, I don't want to work here anymore.
Let's see. I would say, for specific phrasing, I would say, I found a job opportunity I found a job opportunity. Let me put it in corporate voice. I found a better opportunity that better aligns with what I'm looking for in a career. That's what I would say.
If you do that, you're going to have a really long exit interview, and they're going to want to know all the reasons why you're leaving.
Yeah.
But you don't have to answer. That's just for us. Also, that stuff can't be marked. It can't go in your personnel file either. Best practice, anyways. It's not like they won't, but...
Let's see. Did you put any substantial... Oh. So she doesn't do like hiring in that kind of HR. Well, she did. Like you used to do hiring.
Yeah,
but not...
I did generalist, but I wasn't like a recruiter. I just worked with the recruiters.
Okay, so how about answer this? Do the recruiters actually know what they're hiring for?
Some recruiters are not coders. Here's the thing. We are going off of a list that they've told us they want. We can understand it. The recruiters probably have to understand it a little more so they know what they're going. But these are questions given to them by the hiring managers. Most of the time they have done no coding or anything. And we're just looking for what the manager wanted in this position. So if you want to get into like details, they're going to tell you to wait usually until you have to interview with the hiring
But do you think that the recruiters have any idea what they're looking at? Yes or no? It's a yes or it's not a maybe. It's a just.
I wouldn't.
So just no. They don't know what they're hiring for.
Some of them do.
That's what we thought.
But no.
Do the whole stream in a corporate voice. Oh, I don't know about that.
I like that idea.
That sounds like a terrible idea. No. What was your degree? Is it like?
My degree is in communication.
So technically, you're supposed to be doing radio.
I have half a master's in HR degree, and then I said I don't want to manage.
What does that even mean? Team building?
Yep, that's why I went to learn how to officially team build. Wasn't that supposed to be a part of this deal? We're supposed to do like some team building in order for this to happen.
Oh yeah, we made an agreement that she would only do the live stream if I agreed to do spaghetti noodles and marshmallows. Which no.
So that's coming soon.
No. Has she worked for any Fortune 100 companies?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yes.
That's all I can say.
That's all you can say?
Yeah.
Okay. Can she explain the necessity for a college degree? You don't need one. I was told by another HR there are liability issues if you don't have a degree.
No, that's ridiculous. In fact, I've seen that firsthand. Totally switched industries, careers, everything, taught themselves how to code, and then got hired at a major technology company. I guess I can't say what it is, but
team building exercises with Josh. When? No, dude. If we're doing team building exercises, I'm getting my dad.
Team building. See, they want it.
No, they want to watch me suffer.
No, they want. Yeah, exactly. That's the joy we get out of team building too.
Wow.
It is literally.
Are you two getting married? No, we're not. How does one hire an HR? How does
the gym together though?
Yeah. How does HR hire HR?
Well, it usually
who
is a
hired
team
you?
of all of us. My HR lady hired me, my HR manager.
And who hired her? How far does this go?
It's usually, so when you're hiring HR, usually it's like collective of all of the HR groups. And then you might have, like, depending on the size of your company, you might have like a meeting with their founder or CEO or whatever if they want to make an appearance. But usually it's just a collective HR experience, and then they all decide if they like you or not. It's pretty much how they hire us. Like,
6 feet radius, please. Yeah, this is fine.
Sorry.
What do we got? Should we change jobs during a recession? I mean, I don't know. I'd be very. It depends on what your job is.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You gotta change jobs when there are jobs. If you find one, I would always recommend being available for new opportunities. Don't ever shut yourself off because, oh, I like this job, I like this company, they're so great. No, if you find a better job, go to it. Like, you think you like your coworkers, but there's always gonna be new great coworkers. And if there's not, find another one.
Here's $5. Buy the noodles, buy the marshmallows.
Yes.
No.
No. They
wait.
it.
No. Off the top of your head, how many team building activities do you know?
I know like 4 really good ones, and everything else is a reach. But the best ones you're gonna play are tallest tower, and
always tallest tower.
Yeah, and other tower building things like the spaghetti and marshmallows. You're probably gonna play telephone together. Telephone's a good one, but it depends on how many people you have in an HO. My favorite is tallest tower.
Tallest tower. Oof. Leaving the technical side, what kind of personality is desired in a potential employee?
It depends on what the company is. If you're a consulting
that's
company,
for developer.
Yeah, no, but that's the same. We've hired people. If you're not gonna interact with anybody, that's got to be the kind of job you're applying for, the kind of company you're applying for. If you want to work for, like, I don't know, if you want to work for a stuffy PC version, then you're gonna want to just be like your quiet self. And if you want to go work for, like, it's the Apple, it's like the Mac and PC commercial. Those are the kind of people they want.
Kyle says, how do you keep from burning out in HR? If I had to deal with that on the regular, I'd go nuts. Firing people is way harder than I ever thought.
That's why I'm not real HR anymore. I'm a consultant for HR technology because I hated firing people. I hated messing people's
It's not your choice. It's a manager that says bye. You just have to walk them away.
But we're here for the tears and
you get the hard stuff.
We get the things thrown at us. We have to clean out your desk. Like, that stuff sucks. It sucks for you. It sucks for us. And then you guys think it's our fault. And then we just go in the bathroom and cry.
Is it a potential company liability to pay a college grad and a non-college grad the same? It's not a company liability. The only liability is if they're hiring people that need a degree, need a certification to do a job. Like in engineering, right? You have to, if you want to stamp your name on an engineering blueprint, so you need a PE, which is professional engineer. You got to get an EIT before that. And so obviously if you hire a dude that doesn't have a degree and he's stamping his name on stuff, that's a liability because he's not certified. But there's really no difference.
And they can make a judgment call on that too and get you certified. Like, half of the reason is likability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on working in a small company that's not a startup? Are you asking me, Peter, or are you asking her?
I've worked in one of those too.
Thank you for those 50. Startup or big company?
You're gonna, if you work for a small company because you like their company culture, it's gonna change. They're all gonna get bigger. They're never gonna stay small. Their company culture is always gonna change, so don't make it off of that. The bigger companies already have one, and you might get lost in it.
She did regular HR for a few years, and then
at a real small company that grew, and a real big one that acquired another one.
Yeah, now she's like a traveling HR consultant, which goes to other companies which have crappy HR, and she tells those HRs how to fire better, right?
Well, I tell them not to do everything in Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your personnel information in something other than an Excel spreadsheet.
Personally, I'll take a startup because I think startup's the best way to learn all the skills in the company, because startup's gonna say you're a front-end developer, but really it's gonna be whatever they need you to do. So you can do marketing, you can do sales, you can do accounting, you can do everything at a startup if you want to. And if you want to own your own business one day, startup is the way to go because they'll let you learn everything.
And you're gonna grow faster too at a small one.
Because you're gonna work important. More hours.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna hire more people. They're gonna hire under you. They're usually gonna bring you up and hire people below. That's usually how it works in small ones. My experience.
Can you move the mic closer to her? I'm trying. It's just on an arm that doesn't. This is as far as it goes. You got a little closer. All right. Turn the camera. All right. If you enjoy the stream, if you're getting something out of it, maybe hit thumbs up. I appreciate that. I've heard the main purpose of having unlimited vacation is so the company doesn't have to pay you vacation after you leave. Is that true?
Every company makes a judgment call on that. It depends partly on why you're leaving and partly why if you're getting let go.
Yeah, but if the company offers unlimited vacation, they don't have to pay you out because you don't accrue vacation.
Yeah, that's technically true. I've never seen companies who actually do. They'll cap it at some point. They might roll it over so you get however much you want, or say this is how much they're giving you and then let you take whatever you want. But yeah, no, they're not going to pay. They're going to prorate it too. If they do pay you out, they'll prorate it based on the date that you leave. They're not going to give you all of it. So if you tried to save it.
But unlimited vacation companies don't offer anything that accrues. It's just take what you want when you want, but there's no number set. So when you quit, they don't have anything to pay because yeah. So that's true.
But it's still a judgment call. They might give you a little. You never know.
You can grow faster in startup unless they fire you for no reason. But they could do that at a corporate company too.
Yeah, they can always fire you for no reason, but they'll come up with a vague reason. It still usually needs to be documented though. You need documentation to let somebody go. Unless you have a really terrible HR.
You are not 6 feet apart.
Listen, you want me closer to the mic?
Yeah, like you gotta. What's your point on LeetCode type interviews? I don't have one. This is good insider info. Thanks. How did you meet? We met at the gym. I thought if anyone from HR got into your house, they get set on fire.
He sicked the dogs on me.
Let's see. Y'all are creeps, bruh. Let's see. Please practice social distancing. Let's see what else we got in here. Do you actively look at candidates' backgrounds, or does someone else do that?
Some employers will take it that far, but not usually what I work at. Nobody's gonna look at like your Facebook or anything like that unless they have a bad feeling about you.
So Josh basically picked up an HR lady at the gym. I mean, all the other weights were stolen by the people doing CrossFit, so you got to pick up something, right?
Yeah, he said, I hate HR ladies. And I was like, that's cool. I'm an HR lady. Let's be friends.
What do we got? I can't see. Does anything happen when an employee mentions why they left? Do you do anything? Because you do exit interviews, right? Do they have to do the exit interview?
They don't have to. And if you do, you don't put your name on it. It doesn't go in your file. That's for statistics for HR. It doesn't even go to your manager. Well, it's not supposed to go to your manager or be in your file.
Do you know how to code?
I taught myself a little bit of Python.
She taught Python
because I was bored.
Has she seen all the videos? I don't know how many videos you've seen.
Just this one.
Just this one? Nah, she's seen a few.
I've only creeped.
Nice
a
shirt. Hey,
little.
thanks, dude. I gotta say, great videos, fam. Manual, thanks, dude.
Does HR care about employees? Listen, most HR people get into it because we like people and we want to help people, and then you get into HR and you realize you're helping the business, help people, help the business. So
are you there?
A lot of people are, and a lot of people
Good.
are nice and.
Do you care about the company or do you care about the employee?
Personally?
No, well, as your job.
I care about employees. But your job is to care about the company, caring about employees, caring about the company.
HR is basically the lawyer before the lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. We know the employment law to keep them out of trouble, keep you out of trouble, to help you when they let you go.
Let's see.
To advocate for you when we think you should be hired.
Have you ever had to check for a degree, like verify with transcripts?
Yeah, some places do.
Have you ever done it?
I haven't, but I was never in recruiting, so, or at least not full in recruiting.
Right.
But some places will. If you're going to lie about that, I don't know. That's not a risk I would take.
Has she met your dad? No, my dad has that you know what that we can't say on YouTube because you get demonetized, but that's what my dad has, and he's at home on using breathing treatments because it's not good. I don't want to think about it. It's sad. Next topic. What do we got? Would you hire a self-taught developer or do they need a degree?
No, I would hire a self-taught developer, especially it depends on what they're coming in as.
But you don't get to really they have a boss that gets to decide their ability.
And the boss is usually who's going to make that final decision, but they get through us first, and we're going to say, hey, yeah, they have a great personality, work ethic, whatever. We'll advocate for you if we think that you can do the job. They're the ones who are going to decide if they want to teach you the rest of it or not.
Hold on, I'm gonna point at the chat, but I don't want you to read it.
Okay.
See, nonprofit A is company trying to make us use vacation company for sick time. Yeah, dude. So some companies are making people use their PTO and your sick days, and then they'll give you a generous unpaid leave, which they have to do anyways.
Yeah, then it'll be unpaid. And a lot of companies will do that. I've seen it happen. That happened to me when I was in HR once, but we had a manager who let us just take off with her discretion. But
always use Python. Yeah, dude. She taught herself some Python.
Mm-hmm. Made my mouse move. I won't say why.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know why. That sounds like an AFK bot.
Listen.
That sounds like an anti-AFK bot that you coded.
I got to work from home. What?
Is HR to only check for soft skills? What are you checking for? What kind of personality questions do you ask?
Okay, so I'm not a recruiter, but we're going to ask you questions like, how do you work with other people? Are you a team person or do you work better by yourself? There's no wrong answer to that either.
Yeah, there is, because you're not.
Well,
why are you asking then?
You might not work in a team. Some places don't have you work in a team. Some people want to know that you can do things and self-manage. That's important. But also, we don't want you like fighting somebody because maybe they wrote their code in a way you don't like. I've seen that.
Let's see.
Definitely soft skills, though. Can you write an email? Are you going to yell at everyone? Do you look disinterested all the time? If you don't look interested in an interview, like, why are you here?
Okay, what about if someone's chewing gum?
Personally, I think, like, what? I was chewing gum earlier so that I didn't have allergy cough.
In the interview, if they're chewing gum, would you say get out?
If you're gonna chonk it, like, but that's rude anyways. I would say that's like dinner table etiquette. If you want to chew gum, chew gum. Just don't like smack your gum or blow bubbles, or don't be rude. If you need it to keep your mouth wet because you get nervous talking to people, I would say do it. That happens to me all the time. I suck on a mint because my mouth gets dry when I'm nervous.
Highest demand, Kyle, thanks for the 2. Highest demand web dev skills in Utah. It would be React and Angular in Utah. That's that's basically all they're doing. There's a couple Ruby on Rails positions here, but React and Angular. Great life, keep it going. Wish your dad speedy recovery. Hey, thanks, dude. Me too. I try not to think about it. I hope he's doing okay. Cause he used to, like, if you guys don't know, my dad was like a smoker, right? And the thing that's going around really affects your lungs, and so he's had a hard time. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. He's doing okay. He's getting better, but it's been a long week, dude. It's been a long week. Is yelling at people a soft skill?
I mean, it's an anti-soft skill. What are you yelling for? Are you yelling because you're applying for public?
You gotta lay down the law on the junior devs.
Well, I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah.
If you need to yell, you need to come talk to HR so that we can help coach you with how to bring out the best in your employees without screaming at them.
What happens to your file when you leave a company?
We hold it for however long your state says we have to hold it for. Most
What do you
states
mean
are
file?
7 years.
What is
your
a file?
employee file? Your employee file is only going to hold things like your resume.
Where does that go?
Your performance about.
Can I get a copy of it?
Your performance about. It depends on if you're following best practice or not.
Can I get a copy of mine?
You can request a copy of your employee file. There's some things that you won't get because that's not technically things that you would get as part of your employee file, but you'll get most of it. You'll get your performance reviews. You can get your information that you've given them. You'll get a copy of your resume. Yeah, but you're probably not going to get anything related to like benefits or things like that. It just depends on what the laws are, especially in your state. They differ state to state. I've worked in a few states now. So.
Have you ever rejected or heard of someone who's rejected someone because of reasons like looks or clothes?
Absolutely not.
Well, maybe not you, but have you heard of other people saying this person smelled bad, we didn't hire him?
I've heard of those things, but that's a really good way to get sued.
Yeah, but you can't prove it, right? Because you're just going to say no,
well,
thank you.
Well, there would have to be a legitimate reason that we could document that this is the reason we're not hiring you. It's not going to be anything based on that because that's discrimination.
Yelling at people is a hard skill.
At least that's advice from HR.
What is classified as a soft skill and what is not?
Well, those are things that's not related to like coding or dev or anything. That's like, can you talk? Can you write? Can you interact? Can you
team building?
Those are all your basic how are you as a human skills, not how are you as
it's things like project management,
coding.
communication with your developers, making sure that they know what they need to do and you're getting them everything they need. The stuff that doesn't require you knowing how to type stuff.
Project management is kind of a gray area too. That might be a hard skill. Depends on what your job is you're playing.
Does good Nerf gun aim count as a good soft skill?
I've worked at a company who shot Nerf guns, and I've worked at a company who doesn't. Like, if that's what they want, if they want you to be outgoing and cool with that, be cool with that. Get your job, and you don't have to participate if you don't want to later. But you don't want to dock yourself points. Why would you do that? Like, be honest in your interviews, but also you don't have to be like.
Have you ever done anything like with visas, like H-1B visa stuff?
Yep. Used to do a lot of that.
Look out, Josh. It's HR. She's pretty chill though. Why reject overqualified candidates?
I'm not regular HR. I'm cool HR.
Cool HR.
Why reject overqualified candidates?
Yeah.
That's a really dumb reason not to hire somebody, but also the only reason it would be is because they think that you're going to work there and you're going to leave within like a month after they spent all that money training you or paying somebody else while they're training you, and then that's really costly.
I didn't really know why. I just figured it's because you don't have enough application skill.
No.
And you want more money because you have a degree.
No, it's not going to be the money. If you're going to accept it, you're going to accept whatever they offer you. Maybe a little bit more if you negotiate, but they know that you're going to leave. That's the reason they wouldn't hire you if you're overqualified. And overqualified is such a dumb concept. Like, that's good. Wouldn't you want somebody who's smart and can grow and teach your other people?
Why is HR a barrier? Dan, is this? I don't know if this is true. Is this company specific? But Dan says, why is HR a barrier for developers to be able to move up in other areas of the company? They see us as tech geeks rather than capable of running the business, even though we're capable of much more. So have you ever just said, no, you can't be promoted?
No, that's not HR's job. And if your manager is telling you that, that is them. Your manager is the one who recommends you to be hired or promoted or let go or put on a performance plan. If you are yelling at people or just causing disruption, that's us. Anything else, that's your manager, and they're putting the blame on HR because they don't want to tell
because
you.
they are
Okay. They don't want to be the bad guy. That's half of our job, is to be the bad guy when we don't want to. Again, all my opinions. Nobody at me for this.
I have a degree. I have a degree in psychology. Looking for a job as a self-taught dev. Will the degree what? I mean,
as long as you have a degree in something. If you taught yourself to code and you know what you're doing and you can prove that you know what you're doing, you have a portfolio. You have a degree in something.
I didn't tell her to say this.
No,
see?
It's true.
She backs it up.
A degree just says that, hey, I was able to finish something and see something through. That's the important part. Like, it might help you to have one specific to what you're applying to. But my degree isn't in HR.
What's the most HR thing you've ever said?
I say HR things all the time.
Give me your best corporate jargon.
It's probably all our acronyms, like NHO or I don't know.
What the hell is NHO?
I'll come back. New hire orientation.
New hire orientation, NHO. There you go.
PIP, performance improvement plan.
What is a performance plan? Is that a PIP? So that's when you're just about to get fired. Usually, all right, so here's what she told me. She gave me like the secrets here. So whenever a company is putting you on a performance improvement plan, they're basically still going to fire you.
That's not what it said.
Well, hold on, wait. It's basically what you said. So basically they're just about to fire you, but they need time to take notes and make sure that you're doing terrible so that when they fire you, they have a huge list of notes and proof of documentation so that you can't get sued. So that's literally it. It's just time for them to take notes and document what you're doing and how bad you're doing so that you don't get sued.
They should have been documenting all along. If they're going to let you go, then it's because they have documentation. If they don't have documentation, they'll tell you to start documenting. That's what you're supposed to do. You have to have documentation of the problem to let you go, especially for things like performance. So if it's on a performance improvement plan, you may or may not be let go at the end of it. What happens is you get on a performance plan, and in your brain you say, oh no, I'm going to be fired. I got to find a new job. And then you leave. Most of the time, that's what happens. But I've seen plenty of people say, oh, I need to clean my act up, and then they get to stay. But it's all it's mostly.
But you wouldn't put it past me to say that a company wants to fire someone, but they haven't been keeping notes on them. Yeah. So instead, we're going to put them on a performance improvement plan so we can take notes on him for 6 months and still fire him so we don't get sued.
If a manager wants to fire you.
Yeah, see?
We're going to say that, not a company.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But it's part of the documentation. If there's not enough documentation, we'll tell them to document. If they think you are capable of it, they won't just let you keep. If they think you're incapable of fixing it, then they're just going to start documenting for a few months and then let you go. If they think you show potential and they want to give you a shot, then they'll put you on a plan.
Does HR handle severance packages?
No, those are things. Well, yes, they're agreed upon by your leadership and HR. That one just depends. I can't give my full because that's not anything that I used to be involved in.
Can you roleplay to try and hire Josh? I don't want to work for you.
Josh is not an employee. Josh never wants to be an employee.
I'm not a personality. I don't have the personality type of an employee. That's what she said. Are you guys self-isolating? That's what this. You gotta do something on a Saturday. Why not ask HR everything you wanted to know about HR? Because that's what I did. Where's the social distancing? Do you want us to be able to hear in the mic or not?
Do you want to hear me or do you want?
You're just gonna lean back.
They wanted me to social distance.
How is NHL? No, she said NHO. NHO, not NHL.
Mm-hmm. New hire orientation.
Does HR date PhDs?
Do we date PhDs?
Yeah.
Like somebody with a PhD?
Yeah, pretty huge. It's a joke.
Listen, whatever you want.
I don't think that's what he meant, or maybe he did mean that. I see you. How'd you meet? At the gym. We met at the gym. Has HR ever sided with an employee if the manager wanted them to be fired?
Yes. Absolutely. If you don't have actual reason, you just don't like them, we're going to side with the employee. And we might suggest that we try them on a different team, or that you try doing some training, or you try mediation and we figure out what's going on. Like, if there's no real documented actual reason, we're more than likely going to try. You really have to, you can't just, like, you can just fire somebody, but that opens your business up for risk, and that's our job, is to minimize the risk. So
how is new HR software making your life easier?
Depends on what software you get. Some of them make your life easier.
Have you ever
Some
used?
of them make it worse.
What do you think?
Also, how you use it.
What do you think of companies calling the people that work there like Bamboo HR? You ever heard of Bamboo HR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call their employees Bambooligans. That's
Most
not
companies
funny.
do. Most companies will try it, and I would tell you examples from my past ones, but then that would give away where I used to work. So, but most of them will do that, and especially small ones, like Bamboo HR is a smaller one of the HR technologies out there. They're more recent, so that's their new thing right now. Everybody's trying to be Google, so that's what they want. That's what they do.
What do you think about employees working at home? That's what you do.
Yeah, I work at home. I worked at home when I was regular HR. I've worked from home now because I just travel. I'm a consultant. But no, like, if you can do your job from home, you can. Like, people in my life are nurses, or they work and things like that. So they have to go to work. But if you do things like I do in HR, you manage a service center, or you're in debt, like, work from home. Ask to work from home. Don't just accept, like, oh, they're never going to let me. Always ask. I asked, and they let me move across the country for 6 months because I was like, hey, I have a plan. This is how I can do it. If you give me, like, a monitor and I take a week to move, like, let me move. And they did. And I'm HR.
So we got Israel. Thanks, dude. What's with the ridiculous amount of requirements in the dev job positions? So in the recruiting space, do they just, like, slap everything that sticks on a post and see what they get? Like, why do they do that?
It's whatever your manager, the hiring manager decided they want it. Sometimes it's to save money. Like, you want one person to do all these things, or you want two people to do all these things.
So they do that. They do the 2 for 1.
Yeah.
They just try to hire one person for all the things.
But will you find it? And if you don't find it, then you'll hire somebody that's best fit, and you might fill it in with something later. Or they might say, hey, we'll train you on this because we want somebody to do it all. But it's not. That's really unrealistic. It's like saying you're just out of college, no experience, but we want 3 years experience for this entry level. You don't have to have that. That's a good thing. But also, your 3 years experience could be helping your friends. Did you build something for your friend? Did you take pictures for your friend? Did you, like, design a business card? Like, what did you do? Put that on there. That counts.
Let me see.
It just depends on how you sell yourself. Like,
if my company hasn't made a statement yet saying that jobs are safe, should I be worried? King, what do you mean? You mean jobs are safe, like, to come in or to work at home? What does that mean? Hasn't said jobs are safe. I don't understand. Is consulting work fun?
I really like it. I really like not firing anybody anymore. And I really like, I don't know, keeping up with technology that's out there.
You gotta lean in a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
But I like it a lot better. I never want to fire someone
That's
again.
a good question. I didn't know that. Do you know all the salaries of the employees?
Depending on the size of your company and the limitations you have on what information you have access to, in certain positions in HR do, absolutely. I was at a smaller company and I had all of that information, but we were an extremely small HR team. At my larger organizations, I didn't have access to that, but payroll did, and if I needed to request it for a legitimate reason, like to fill something out so you could buy a house, then I would have it. Otherwise, I can't just normally scroll through and find all of that.
You gotta get a little closer next time.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Normally, I'm really loud.
How do you become a consultant?
This one fell out of the sky on LinkedIn, Josh's favorite site. So, I don't know. You just got to specialize. If you want to be a consultant, you got to specialize, and it's all how you sell yourself. Part of the reason that worked for me is because it was remote, and I had convinced my last job that I could work remote. I proved that I could. I had remote on my resume. It's all how you market it, right? So it's however you want to build your resume. The way you write things on your resume can really help you or hurt you.
Why are job gaps bad?
It depends on if you can say if you have a good reason there's a job gap. This is my favorite thing. So if you hop around a lot and you've worked at a job for a year, but there was no gaps, that's just how it is now. That's not a big deal. If you listen to your parents telling you not to jump around because it looks bad and you should work for a company for 20 years, that's BS. That's not real anymore. Nobody expects that anymore. But if you had a job gap because maybe you were taking care of a sick parent or something like that before you didn't have time with them anymore, then that's a real legitimate reason. If you had a baby, it's a legitimate reason. If you decided to take a year to just sit on your couch and you don't have a reason to tell them, I would maybe come up with a good reason when they ask. But they're going to give you a chance normally. They won't discount you.
Why would you pay an existing employee? Why would you pay a new hire more money than someone who does the same job that's already there? It's because they negotiated better?
No, that's because the time of hired. If you hired somebody 10 years ago before this was in demand and before pay started going up, like you're probably going to be making $1,000 less. Now these jobs are in high demand. Tech is growing like crazy. So the demand is out there. We're fighting for employees that are being hired from other companies down the road. So you got to keep up. It's just demand. So if you want to make more money, get a new job.
See?
There's not money to raise salaries. In my experience, there's usually not a bucket of money to raise salaries to keep everybody current. You're going to get a little increase every year.
But that does nothing.
And the people coming in who say, I have an offer down the road and it's 20 grand more, we keep up with the market. Depending on when which is why I tell you, don't tenure yourself at a company for 20 years. Don't listen to your parents. That's boomer mentality. You've got to keep, if you want more money, get a new job. That's what I tell everybody. So I tell my friends, everybody.
Do you know about Greg?
Yes, I know
Greg.
about Greg. I watched that.
I'm Rachel. God. All right, would you hire a person that gets very nervous in the interview? And if you're very nervous in the interview, what would you recommend someone do?
Oh, I get nervous usually. It depends on what you're being hired for. If you're being hired to be a back-end developer, you're probably one of those quiet people. No big deal, whatever. If you're getting hired to be a designer, those people are very interactive and they are more like friends and team-oriented. It all just depends on what the environment is you're going into. If you get nervous in an interview, what I usually do is I get there early, number one. If you're rushing, you're going to be hot and sweaty and nervous anyways. Get there 20 minutes early, review your own resume when you're sitting in your car, take some deep breaths and listen to music. Do something else and don't think about it. When you walk in there, I do things like I have like little rings on my hands and I just, under the desk, I'll just play with these. My voice will get a little like shaky sometimes and I try to just say, sorry, I do get a little nervous in interviews. Bear with me. Let me take a second to think about this. That doesn't hurt you. Take a second to think about your response. They don't need you to answer like that. In fact, it's better if you do take a minute to think about it. I've actually had somebody say to me in an interview, like, I can see you working through the steps, and I really appreciate that. I didn't just throw it out. I just thought through it, and she could see me thinking through it. So.
Here's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, I want to know if I'm underselling myself. How much would you expect to be paid for full stack dev and network admin? Full stack dev, $50K first job. And network admin, I don't know if they're going to pay you to do two jobs at once if they already have 40 hours of work for you to do as one job. They're not going to just double it because you don't get paid on potential, dude. You get hired on potential, but you don't get paid on potential. That's the thing.
True. Which is why if they're looking for entry level, if they're recruiting at your college, part of it is because they want to bring you in for a little less money and say, hey, grow with us. You'll get experience, but that's part of the reason. They're going to pay you less money with less experience.
Let me
generally, see. In my experience.
I had a good question. Oh, who's in charge of the budget? Who's in charge? Because it's not you. Because you send the offer letter, but you don't actually control the money. Who decides the money?
That comes from your upper level
leadership.
So your founder, your CEO, your CEO, whatever you have, your CFO, whatever you have as big as your company is, it comes from up there. They say this is the pot of money based on our earnings from last year, based on our performance. They give you that amount of money. They decide where it should be pieced out. And where it comes to us is letting your managers know for their teams how much money is in this pot. And then it's based off of your performance, your team's performance, and your company's performance for how much you're going to get of what they told you your potential bonuses or your potential raises.
You ask for thumbs up. They'll do it for you because you have a nice voice. If you like the stream, just thumbs up.
If you like the stream, give it a thumbs up.
Duh. Let's see. No, but seriously, if this stream has been helpful, just maybe hit thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Helps them do better in the algorithm.
Me too. Because I get nervous. See? HR, we're just like you.
I know you hate when someone works overtime, but what if they get paid for it? For instance, I usually work 200 hours minimum monthly because more money. So in the U.S., if you make more than $29,000 salary, you don't get overtime pay if you're salary. But if you work more hours and you're hourly, you get paid more, yes, but the only thing you can do is sell more hours. You can't sell harder work. That's the problem.
It's pay for work done when you're salary. So you're getting paid salary for the work you're doing. It's not based on hours.
Or not
they're
doing.
Gonna say, or not doing. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to get paid more, then get a new job. That's what I always tell you. Don't sit here and say, oh, I worked so much overtime, I'm going to go tell my boss I need a raise. They're going to laugh. That's not how it works. You did the job they're paying you to do for the rate you agreed to. If you want more money for the amount of work you're doing, get a new job. That's what I would do.
Nah, she doesn't have a YouTube channel.
No. Absolutely not.
Can you introduce yourself? Yeah, we're just going to call her HR lady. From now.
Didn't we decide on Haley earlier?
Yeah,
I'm Haley Rosenstein.
Haley, yeah. Well, we tried to figure out
those are my HR
names
initials.
for HR. HR is HR Rosenstein.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I haven't checked. Okay. 200 hours a month, short shifts. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's 168 hours a week, and the problem with working more hours is still like imagine if you get paid hourly, but your job is to dig a ditch, right? You could do that really quick. But that's not how you get paid. You don't get paid based on hard work. You just get paid on time, and that's the issue.
You get paid for the job. If you want to dig that ditch really, really fast, you're going to get paid, and they're going to give you another ditch to bill.
Oh, is there an HR-friendly way to flirt with your coworkers at work?
Oh, that's funny. Everybody flirts with HR at work. It's funny for us. Or with each other at work. It's funny for HR to know this is going on, and then once you guys actually start dating and you come tell us, hey, we're dating, we're usually like, oh, that's new information, but it's usually not. We know. Sometimes we're shocked, but it's funny.
Is she a digital nomad? Yeah, she works remote.
Yeah. I work from wherever. I work for national parks in my RV. I work from the sky on an airplane. I work from whatever state I want to usually. Normally,
slide that light slightly that way. Just push it closer to the wall. It has little feet. Just you twist it. Just twist the feet. That's fine. When is she gonna come back for a second interview?
When we do team building.
Oh God. Yeah. So I asked her. So I had this idea for me to find some corporate cringe and then have her actually break down what's happening and why they do this BS.
Because it's funny.
That's
my opinion. It's funny.
She knows that team building is garbage, and she does it because it's fun to watch engineers try and problem solve a team building with papers and
I'm not in learning and development or training, but I used to go sit in on new hire orientation all the time just because I could watch you guys team build.
No.
That's my break time.
Can you do a corporate cringe with male HR? I don't know any male HR. Some dude on LinkedIn messaged me. He's like, hi, I'm in HR. And I was like, you want to do a vid? He's like, well, I don't know.
The majority of HR is women. What sucks, well, I guess it's fine. But male HR usually takes different routes, and so they end up in higher positions or they end up specializing in consulting. There's a lot of HR consultants that are men. But the majority of your HR in office is going to be a woman. It's easier to talk to us. It's like talking to your mom.
Ooh, my job will fire one of you if you have a relationship. Why is that?
Okay, so that's really gray area too. I work for a company who used to threaten that all the time. part of it is they don't want nepotism. Nepotism is important generally. You don't want to work for, if you start dating your boss or your employee, that's a no-no. They're either going to move you or they might let you go. But usually that's just a threat. That's not something that holds up very well either. It's just, and a lot of times it's discretionary. If you are like very valuable employee and you have a lot of information that like they
take the wheel.
need.
Take the wheel.
No. Then, I mean, the chances that they're going to let you go are probably a little bit lower, even when they threaten it real hard, like I've seen. But it all just depends. It depends on your position. It depends on if you're an untouchable. It depends on, which is a funny term. But there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Oh, have you ever had someone refuse to do team building?
I mean, yeah, but you got a team build.
What happens if you say, no, I'm not doing it? Because I've done that. I showed you the pictures.
Yeah, we get that. But usually it's not going to be a hard line no. We're like, well, at least just sit there. And then you just sit there and everybody team builds and you just chill. It's not going to like do anything.
Did you find any limitations with remote work?
I mean, I have to buy my own coffee now. Is that a limitation?
What sort of things trigger HR independent thought alarms?
What does that mean?
I imagine Dan is saying, what kind of things at work happen make you question, why am I doing this as an HR lady?
Oh, as an HR lady?
Yeah,
I
like
get that all the time.
like why am I doing this? This is messed up.
Uh-huh.
What happens?
I guess it's all situational. It all depends. Like, I've seen HR mess up. I've seen HR mess up and I've seen them try to fix it and not have to bring it to attention. And that is a big deal. But that's also, it's all...
That's a good one. Have you ever heard of employees sleeping with their boss for a promotion?
I mean, you can't prove that usually, but I have seen...
You've seen it?
Things like
you
that.
You saw someone get the promotion?
No, I have not.
They made the D appointment and got the promotion.
I have seen like
evaluation.
Things that make you wonder.
Oh.
But I won't say that I've seen it. I've heard talk of that amongst employees too.
Does it hurt your chances to follow up if there's no response on the offer within the agreed time? What?
No, you should definitely respond within an agreed time or they're going to move on to somebody else. Even if you just say, hey, I need an extra few days, week, you got to stay you got to communicate. If you're not communicating, then that's a red flag. But if you need extra time, tell them, hey, I need a few more days.
Cade says, how do you work remotely for U.S. companies in Europe? Yeah, so you're looking for what's called a W-8. That's what you're going to be. I'll type it for you in the chat. W-8 contractor. That is what they're going to pay you as, because they don't got to do benefits or anything like that. So you're just a W-8, and they might give you a little extra bonus money every month for benefits. But if you're in Europe, they our benefits don't go over there. So that's what you're looking for. You apply for a contract job for a U.S. company, ask to be remote or negotiate remote, and you are a W-8. That's how that works. Why is your LinkedIn so empty or non-existent? What?
Because Josh is banned from LinkedIn.
Yeah, my LinkedIn is any profile you see with my name on LinkedIn is fake because I'm banned. I would definitely approve of more videos with her. I think they'd be hilarious.
Oh my god.
Do you think a thank you follow-up letter helps you?
Absolutely.
Really? I feel like everyone does it and doesn't mean anything.
And it doesn't. You don't even have to say anything. Don't handwrite it. That's dumb. Don't listen to your parents. Don't handwrite these things. Send an email. Say thank you for your time. It was great talking with you. I still have interest in working in this company. Look forward to next steps. That's my favorite way to end an email to HR. I'm looking forward to next steps.
Kate, you got it, dude. Mm-hmm. The hiring managers look at my writing samples before contacting me for an interview. We mean writing samples.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't think so.
Depends on what your job you're hiring for. In HR, they looked at mine. I had to write an email on the spot for how to make everybody move their cars for a blood drive that's happening in the parking lot. But for y'all, I don't know.
Why are you banned on LinkedIn? I'm banned on LinkedIn because I made myself the CEO of Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook all concurrently at the same time. And then I said, hey, anybody looking for a job? Because I know a guy. I am that guy. And then literally like 400 people responded, and they didn't think to look to see if I was actually the CEO. And someone got mad because I was like, it's just a joke. And then they reported me to LinkedIn, and I got banned. It was just to show how LinkedIn you can just falsify everything, and nothing matters, which is why it's stupid for people to require it to get a job, because you can falsify it.
Is that how Google even recruits? I've seen them like
Google doesn't
switch
recruit
over your screen and stuff and make you. I've seen that.
I always give thank you letters after my interviews. I usually send a thank you email. I'm just like, thanks for your time. Let me know if you need any more information from me. I look forward to the next steps. That's it. That's all.
I've seen handwritten ones, but that always ends up as an aw, and that's about it. Like, just send an email. Say thank you. Thank you for your time. And the more people you can send that email to, the better. If you have the email or business card from your hiring manager and HR, that's better than just sending it to HR. We'll do our best to send it over to them too, but always ask for a business card if you can get one.
You good? There's too many questions. You want like a drink or something? You can go grab one. I'll take over for a minute.
Okay. That's all
right. I'll take over for a moment in time, and she will go grab a drink. All right. I see. I'm gonna do my best to answer for you. She'll be back in a sec. Cross your fingers I don't get banned. Yeah. So I can be CEO. You be CEO of any company you want on LinkedIn. You can. I gave myself a certification in certifying things because you can put your skills there. So I gave my skill. I gave a skill in endorsing skills, and I gave a certificate in certifying skills, and I was yeah. They didn't like that. Benjamin. Everybody keeps asking the same question in the chat, and I'm just gonna say, what do you think? You went, yeah. Do what you gotta do. Yo, Josh, any word from MJ? Actually, yeah, I just gotta email him, and we're gonna follow up. I'm gonna try to get him on the stream, or a video next time. If you're here and you enjoy the stream, or if you enjoy HR, I understand. Just hit thumbs up. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Certificate in certifying things. Spooky says, I love you, Josh. Hey, thanks. Just give yourself the title of a life coach. Josh, in Live with the Enemy. I thought it would be a cool dichotomy for you guys to see. Because, like, when we first met, I was asking all the same questions. I was like, wait. You're telling me that you don't just fire people? Like, you got to know ahead of time that you're going to fire people because people can sue when you fire them for anything? Yeah. What's up, Josh? Love the channel. What? Thanks, man. How's Patrick been doing? I think Patrick's in the chat. Should be doing good. How is it affecting job processes? I mean, actually, I was gonna make a video called. Well, there's this VP of sales on LinkedIn who is like, I love working remotely, but working remote can't continue indefinitely, and here's why. Blah blah blah. A bunch of reasons. And I was going to make a video on that next and then talk about how to negotiate remote, which happens to be a question. How do you negotiate working from home? You just say, I get more work done at home, and here's why. Do you hate LinkedIn? No, I don't hate LinkedIn. Patrick, how are you doing? So if you want to work remote, you still can, even if the job doesn't say remote in the description. You apply for office jobs, and then in the interview you say, hey, do you think in the future we could have a couple days remote? Do you think in the future, you say not now, right? You gotta earn your keep kind of deal. You say, you think in the future we could negotiate out a few days remote? Would that be cool? Would that be all right? That's what you do. And then usually they'll say, oh yeah, we could talk about that at a later time, but you bring it up now. That way, if you bring it up out of nowhere later when you're in the office, they're going to be like, what's up, man? I didn't know that you get more work done at home. They're just going to think that you want to do something else. Josh, he wants the toilet paper. Actually, nah, I don't think so. I went to Costco and there's just like tons of it, so. She can't find the drinks. Hold on, let me ask. She says that she's good.
Eating a cookie.
Oh, you got snacks?
You want a snack?
No, I don't want any snacks. I'm good. Thanks though. She got snacks.
And drinks.
And drinks. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, she's back. Ask away. Is hacking security better than game dev as a job? Yes. When is the LinkedIn diss track? I can't sing.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
He sings with a gin. That's true.
She's raiding his TP stash.
That's true.
Bro, what if she dipped?
That wasn't my fault. That was his.
Okay.
What if I dipped? Like, actual dip?
Yeah, like what if you just left?
Oh.
I don't think so. What mic is that? It's a Samsung G-Track Pro. Teach a HR lady to code. She can code. She does Python. Josh, maybe you should fly out and visit since I'm remote right now. Bro, I'm not getting on an airplane right now. I'm not. The next time I'm getting on an airplane, I will be the one flying it and landing, okay? What's her name? HR.
Haley.
How does she know
Haley
where
was
everything is?
insane.
These are sitting on my counter.
Yep.
How's the speed triple? Got any chances to ride, Lily? Yup. Speed triple is amazing. It's kind of cold out today, though. All right. Any advice on transferring? Let's see. Do you have any advice on transferring to an office in a different country?
I mean, you should
It's all yours. Here, take over.
go check
Take
out
the
the
wheel.
country first. Like, and a lot of times if they're going to have you transfer over there, that'll be an option. Send, have you go. If you're married, have your wife go. If you're engaged, whatever, that should be a thing too, because you're all moving there. Don't agree to go somewhere without going there first to experience it. And if there's a cost of living difference, make sure that you talk about that too. Don't move somewhere that's way more expensive if they're not going to change your pay. That's what I would suggest.
Let's see. There was a good one that I saw. How does HR feel about disability accommodations? It seems to piss them off. I
no,
can't. That's
absolutely not. If you fake it and tell us things like, I can't work in that's not faking it. But if you just tell us something dumb like, oh, I can't work in an open environment, can you pay for headphones? Most of them won't do it. Some of them might, but most of them won't do that. But if we see that you can't reach the floor with your feet and you're dangling off the chair, we'll order something for you. You have to tell us and we'll do it. But if you come up with a disability like, oh, I'm a little swollen today, I need a standing desk, but I want this like $5,000 standing desk.
Yeah.
Also, you might need a doctor's note, and if they say that,
This is a good
they
question.
don't have to give you a doctor's note. That's HIPAA, and you don't have to give a doctor's note.
So you don't have to give a doctor's note for anything?
I mean, you can show it to us. If they require it from like for an ergonomic thing,
Yeah.
then that's neither here nor there. That's great. But if you need to take a sick day and they request a doctor's note, I would suggest against that, because that's something that's telling us what kind of doctor you went to. That's suggesting a reason you went there, and that's all protected information that you shouldn't have to give out. If it gets obsessive, like if you're taking 2, 3, 4 days because you're sick or whatever, they might require it for that, but then they also may put you on FMLA or something like that.
VS asked some about like if the job is remote, do they still ask about work authorization? No, there's no authorization. If you work for a U.S. company outside the U.S. and you're just a W-8 contractor, there's no authorization. Only authorization is to get a visa to come here, and you need an H-1B for that. And there's only a limited number of those each year, and you have to have a bachelor's degree.
Yep, and you're probably gonna
Stay
get
safe,
a lot.
Josh and HR lady. Thanks, appreciate you. I need a standing desk.
That's
Some
cool.
tips on writing an effective resume. I mean, just put your skills up top, then and relevant experience below that.
Yep.
How soon? Oh, this is a good question. How soon is too soon to follow up?
Like to follow up on your interview? I send a follow-up email the next day or same day. If you want to follow up, I'd give it a week to say, hey, I'm still interested in this position. Can you let me know where we are in the process of next steps? That's all you have to say.
Why do companies lie about next steps? Like they tell you, we'll be back in a few days, and then they just ghost you. Why they do that?
Oh, I've never worked at a company that ghosts, but I've heard of it. Usually y'all ghost us. But we at least send regrets. It's a best practice.
Oh, that's what she calls them.
That's what it's called.
All right,
send regrets.
So
the email says we regret.
So like the thing, the copy paste email that's like, unfortunately, we found another candidate and we will not be moving forward with your resume at this time. We regret to inform you that you have not been selected for this position. Those are called regrets. Like that's a thing. That's a term. Regrets in HR. Bet y'all didn't know that had a name.
Mm-hmm. And it's oftentimes the exact same email.
What do we got? Nick. That's funny. That one. You could do that one. You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Big up from the UK. Hey, thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, man. Do you need a degree for W8? No, W8 just means you were legally paying someone not inside of the United States. Can asking for promotion ever hurt you?
Always ask.
But can it hurt you? I feel like it could hurt you.
Absolutely not.
I feel like
ask for promotion. Ask for what you want. If you don't ask, we don't know. They think you're happy. They're not going to consider you. Always ask. I always ask. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do. But at least it's in their head that you want this. You want it enough to ask. Always ask. Not asking for what you want. Nobody's going to hand you anything. Do you really want a handout?
Do you fire or terminate? No, she doesn't do that anymore. Right now, she's like a consultant, like a traveling consultant, like a remote consultant. She goes to different companies that have crappy HR and makes them better. I don't know how you do that because all HR is crappy.
No, we just bring them into the 21st century and make them digital.
So
we digitalize HR.
You go from paper HR to Excel HR.
Yeah. You would not believe some of these companies have Excel spreadsheets of everybody's like demographics, information, everything. How are you going to put 5,000 employees in an Excel spreadsheet that takes 10 minutes to open? It's ridiculous. Like, you don't want that.
Do you think remote jobs will increase given the current situation?
I think they're going to increase just given it's 2020. This is the way it's going. This is not boomer workforce anymore. That's what we demand. And the more people who ask for it, the more people who want it, more
Carnivore Freely. Are companies still hiring? Yeah, companies are still hiring. You just have to be careful what kind of company you work for as a software developer, because at some point your software is supporting some sort of hardware or some sort of organization, right? That's what software does. Unless you're just strictly too big to fail type deal, usually software supports something. And if that something can't be funded anymore due to what's happening, then yeah, they're probably not going to need you to make that software. Like if you make software for like a lumber yard, right, but they can't do anything with the lumber yard, then they just have to pay you to build software that they can't use it for the lumber. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like the software that you're building, if it's supporting something, that thing still has to be able to, like, I don't know, make money right now for you to have a job. That makes sense? Think about it like that. You turn boomers into zoomers. That's true.
Also, boomers are almost lumped in with Gen Xers right now.
Yeah. Extreme boomer makeover. That's what you do for companies. What's the most difficult CEO you've ever dealt with that was just like, absolutely not. We're not changing our stance. We've done it for 50 years and that's how we're going to do it.
I had one entirely cut everybody's bonuses in a meeting and not even tell HR, who was in the middle of the meeting with everybody. And then they all turn and look at us.
Yeah.
That's difficult. Or, no, we're going to fire you because you're dating this other person. What?
Let's see.
People who start their own business.
Do you write a follow-up email before or after? How you write a follow-up before something happens?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
What are you following up on?
How you do that before something happens, though? I don't know.
Do you mean like if they mean before... If they tell you, hey, we're going to contact you in a week, and you're talking about sending an email on Thursday, but they said they contact you on Friday, that's fine, but...
Here's a good question.
I would wait.
Justin says, I work in HR. How can I pursue a consultant career?
Apply for him.
That's
what I did.
That doesn't help
All
anybody.
I wanted to do... No, it's true.
But
all
what do you
I
apply
wanted
for?
to do was work remote. So when I did my search, I searched HR, and I searched remote. That's what I did, and I applied to all of them. This one, I would recommend putting remote on your LinkedIn. Josh hates LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is how mine fell out of the sky. And I said, remote, where's your location? Remote. and
So
they found me.
So all right. So TLDR, go to LinkedIn, type HR, and check the remote box.
Or Indeed, like that's what I tell everybody to do.
Josh is such a good voice actor. You know what? I'll read some questions in here, just like corporate voice. Let's see. What's the most exciting part of your HR job? I can't imagine much. I don't even know why we pay you.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Me neither. That's why we come up with buzzwords like disrupt HRs. That's what we gotta do in order to be relevant because everything's automated.
But seriously, what's the most exciting part?
Most exciting part? I don't know. I like staying caught up on cutting edge technologies. That's what I
What
do
does that
with
even
HR
mean?
stuff.
Cutting edge
I go
technology.
to conferences and I learn about how like new HR technology can.
What is HR
help.
technology? What is it? What does it do?
It's things like when you can I say like products like.
Well,
I
hold
don't
on.
know. Well,
Hold
when
on.
you
Hold on.
use
Let me
an
mute.
HR system, are you
Okay.
going to use something like Excel?
What
are
does
you
it
gonna
look
use
like on the
something-
screen?
It's
And what does it do?
where all of your information is stored on there. Do you
What
want to
information?
contact me and then IT and then your manager and then all these different people to do things? Or do you want to just go say, hey, I need to update my marital status. Easy peasy. That's done. Like
So it's just an
Yeah.
employee information library.
some of it.
How do you- how
some
does
of
that
it
get
is experience.
cutting
Some
edge?
of
I
it's
don't-
your benefits. Well, because you're doing things that's not like Excel or on paper.
Okay.
Do you want to print out a form and hand deliver, or do you just want to get on the internet and be
Oh,
like, done?
that's a good question. Do you like ninjas, Jedis, or rock stars on the
Jedis.
resume better?
Jedis.
Jedis?
absolutely.
Jedis. I think you like Star Wars.
Proof that girls can be nerds too, Josh.
Proof that girl. Oh, she's like, I like to play video games. It's like, I don't believe it.
Like absolutely.
We'll
not.
see. Greg's voice, please.
Oh, I don't want to do Greg's voice. Greg is such a creep, dude. He was like, oh.
Ask him for his Tinder girl voice.
Tinder girl voice.
It's my favorite voice.
That probably sound like you.
What?
Uh,
You sound like me. We met in the gym.
HR hired an unqualified person who was a minority. She was lazy, so I told her to give her her best. She went to HR and told her that I'm sexist. HR fired her, but my relation with HR is bad. What do I do?
Number one, why is your relationship with HR bad? That sounds like a cop out. Number two, sorry. Also, HR is not the one who's making the hiring decisions.
What about
We're
the
the
firing
ones who are saying
decisions?
all right.
So basically,
If she's that bad and you have a legitimate reason to say that she's that bad, document those reasons, give warnings, try to mediate ways to fix that problem. And if it's unfixable, then you work on a way for exit. But otherwise, you have to be able to admit. You can't just say I don't like working with her or she looks lazy. Document every time that, oh, is there a company policy that you can't be on your phone and that's what you think she's lazy? Document it. If she's sitting there staring at Facebook all day and that's why you think she's lazy, document it. You gotta document it, and they have to be real reasons.
but he's a coworker.
Or HR is
But
gonna
he's a-
say.
so all right. So
Well, then you have to bring that to your manager.
So Abo, basically you gotta document
your
every
manager's
time that
the
she's
manager.
been lazy and every time that she hasn't been giving her best, and you have to go deliver that.
Well, actually,
But
you can do that.
How do you-
and bring it to your manager's attention? Your manager, the manager of that person, is the one who needs to document.
okay,
You can bring your concerns to them, but this is your manager's deal, not HR.
Here's
We're
the-
the ones who say document.
the real question: what games do you play?
What games do I?
Yeah, what
play?
games do you play?
I play The Sims.
The Sims.
That's what I play right now.
You're
I'll play
playing.
whatever's going on. I'll play Mario Party with my BFF. I watched my fam play WoW. Very first game I ever played was EverQuest, and Josh doesn't believe it still.
You say your first game was EverQuest.
EverQuest.
I didn't play
Yep,
that.
I also played Star Wars Online.
You played Star Wars. Oh, they
when
do.
that was an online.
They do have that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
See?
We'll see.
But what I play now is The Sims.
Let's see.
Sims 3, Sims 4.
Don't be a Toby. I agree.
What's a Toby?
From The Office.
Mm.
Why do some people want cover letters? As soon as I see it as a requirement, I leave the application. Who cares about the cover? Dude, every
I
time.
have never written a cover letter.
Okay.
ever.
Oh, I'm a total opposite spectrum. Every cover letter that I've written has gotten me the job. Every time they're like, "We really appreciated your cover letter and getting to know you in this short
Yeah.
letter. Like, so we wanted to bring you in because we really agreed."
It can't hurt you. I've never done it.
Managing people in real life and in the game. That's why you like The Sims. That's funny.
I just care about people.
Oh yeah, Doom Eternal. Dude, yeah, that came out what, yesterday? 2 days ago? Yeah, yesterday. I might get that.
I'm not regular HR. I'm cool HR.
Why does HR ask for 2-3 years experience? They don't. The manager just gives.
Does.
The manager does it.
And we try to find it, and then we try to beat some common sense into the manager and say this is impossible.
Do you play cool math games? What?
Absolutely not.
Do you need a degree to be HR?
Do you need a degree?
To be HR, yeah.
Technically not. You should have a certification if you don't have a degree, but my degree's not in HR. My degree's in communication. And I marketed myself for that to benefit why I could make a good HR person. But it's just how you market yourself. That's what it is.
Should play StarCraft too. What's the best resources for those who are looking for remote positions? All right, I got one for you. Stack Overflow, WeWorkRemotely.com. They got lots of stuff, and remoteok.io. Indeed, type in remote. It will autofill with remote Oregon because that's a city in Oregon. Do not allow that to autofill. Just put remote. And LinkedIn has a remote checkbox too.
Or work from home, WFH. Those are all keywords you can search for.
WFH. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Work from home.
Let me see. Is CIPD SHRM worth it? I don't know what those acronyms mean, so I'm gonna just pass all that to you.
Like, are you asking for certifications? I would say yes. Have a SHRM certification for sure. I follow SHRM on HR or on like Facebook and stuff just to keep up. But I would definitely say SHRM is what I recommend number one. If you want a certification, that's like your leader in HR things. But you don't have to have it. I got an HR job without having a certification, and then you get into your company, you say this is important to me and to you, and then they'll pay for you to get certified. But have one. If you don't have a degree though, definitely get certified. SHRM has one that is for people who don't have a degree in HR. So I can't remember what the requirements are for those, but they have it.
Tyler says, if I walk off the job, do I still get vacation pay? If it's been accrued, they have to legally pay it out to you.
That's absolutely not true.
They don't have to pay you vacation now
depends
legally?
on why. It depends. It's all discretionary. It depends on why you leave. Depends. If you just walked out,
yeah,
like for them, it's beneficial if they do. Then Utah, you cause less of a stink.
If they don't pay you vacation in Utah, you can sue them.
No.
You accrued it. That is legally payable hours.
And
you just didn't use it yet.
States that I have experienced,
because I almost did that.
Texas, Utah, and California.
Yeah.
California is a whole different animal anyway, so I won't comment on them.
All right.
But it all just depends.
Abo says, I'm the leader of 3 people. Problem is HR insisted to hire her. I told HR several times to release the person during her trial, but they didn't do it. So like the first 30-day trial thing to make sure that you're a good fit or whatever.
I don't.
So HR basically just doesn't.
I really don't. I would hesitate to agree that HR would be the only person that made that decision. Again, we're just the front a lot of times for things like that. It might have been other leadership who said to give him a shot or something else. Or maybe there just wasn't anybody else they could find and she was the best option that you had for your team. And to give her a shot. But if you also can't just not have a reason to let somebody go even in that trial period. You have to document the problem. If you're a leader especially, document and make sure you're documenting all of it from the start. Don't come up on the end of the 3 months period and say, hey, I don't like this. Why? Did you write this down? Did you tell her?
TJ, thanks, dude.
Like, those are important things.
I just walked off the job hoping to get my 3 weeks paid out. It depends on the state. I know when I got let.
Accrued.
Yeah, and if it's been accrued, if you got 3 weeks vacation but you haven't been there long enough for those 3 weeks to have been added up, then technically you didn't earn those 3 weeks yet. That's just what you would have earned. But in Utah, like, there was a company that let me go, and they didn't, like, number one, they didn't give me my paycheck the next day, which is you have to do that. Yeah, they didn't give me my final paycheck the next day or my vacation the next day. And I could have sued them for like triple, but I didn't do it. I took unemployment instead, which pissed them off even more.
They don't pay all their unemployment though, but it does raise their taxes after, which is the thing.
All right, I think that's it for the stream. I think we had a very productive stream.
Oh, good.
I think we had a productive stream. Was that too much? That was fine. That was good. If you enjoyed the stream or her, then just hit thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And we'll leave you guys. Maybe we'll do another video with like where she comes up with the top 5 dumbest team building activities.
And then we're gonna try them.
No. Well, we can make my dad do them because he doesn't. He's not a fan of HR.
It takes more than one person to do team building.
No.
That'd be great.
All right.
Stand by.
We're gonna go social distance. So you guys be safe, and we'll see you later. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll leave you with some music. All right, bye guys. We'll see you later. We're just hanging out. All right, y'all have a good one. Thanks so much for being here, and see you later. You want to say bye?
Bye.
All right, bye. See you later, guys.